Hello stamping friends, welcome back to another video in the July 2015 online card class. This is the card that we're going to be putting together, and I want to show you a couple of tips and tricks that I learned when stamping these butterflies. This of course is the PDF that everybody gets who takes the class. This is the beautiful card. Love it, love it. You were asked to purchase this stamp set, which is the watercolor wings, and it comes as a bundle. So this is the set of framelits that you get with it, or as the bundle, and this is the bold butterfly framelits. There is another set of framelits in the Stampin' Up! 2015 catalog that's called Butterflies Thinlits, and if you have that one, this butterfly thinlit will cut that butterfly. Now, if you don't have it, don't stress, because I am going to tell you that if you do have it and you cut it out with the thinlit, that's what you get. If you don't have it and you have to cut it with snips, that's what you get. So I think I did pretty good. You just want to stamp your image and then follow it along with the snips, and I always kind of go at an angle and then just move my paper into the snips, and then that way I get a pretty uniform. It's not perfect, but you know what? These are handmade cards. They don't have to be perfect. So what pieces do you need? You of course get your envelope in the kits, and then you get a Whisper White base, and then you'll get a sheet of Whisper White that is for your layer, and this was run in the new brick wall framelit, and that's what this is. I want to tell you a little trick. All right, so see how the framelit kind of, or the folder kind of bows? All right, so when I first put it in, I was putting it in like this, and then when I took it to the machine, to the Big Shot, it was moving on me. So I learned to bring it to the edge so that bow doesn't bother me. My paper is smaller. This would do a 6x6, so nice big piece of paper for you scrapbookers if you needed a big sheet. So just move it to the front and then run it through the embossing and through the Big Shot, and you won't have it move on you because we don't want a crooked wall. Okay, so another thing that I figured out when I was stamping, this is two-step stamping, so it is using the two different stamps in the butterfly with the butterflies, and I figured out that the smaller butterfly was harder for me to see. Okay, so let me just show you what I did. So on this one, see how it's off? See how I didn't quite line it up? So let me just show you, and of course I do have the Stampin' Up! Paper piercing mat underneath because I'm using photopolymer stamps. There is no cushion on the stamp, so if you provide your own cushion, then you get a much sharper image. This is a Stamp-A-Majig. This is the Majig, and this is what you stamp on. I found that if I used it, I could line up this smaller stamp a lot better. It was not required in the class. If you happen to have one, that's great. If you don't have one, just kind of practice on some scratch paper until you get the stamped image that you like. I'm using the Dijon, Delightful Dijon? Yes, Delightful Dijon. And I'm going to stamp off first on my scratch paper, and then I'm going to take my Whisper White, and then I'm going to stamp. Okay, so I have that. Then you take the Stamp-A-Majig image sheet, and I've already got one stamped, but I want to show you how I did it. So you take the Majig, I don't know what that's really what it's called, but that's what I call it. Let me move this out of the way. I hope you can see it on the screen. Yeah, you can. Okay, so I have this lined up in the corner of the Majig. All right, and I'm going to take, I've got both of my stamps on here. It just worked well for me to have them on the same block. You don't have to do that, but it just worked for me for the video. So I'm going to ink up my stamp, and I'm lining it up in the elbow of the Majig. Okay, so then I get my stamped image. All right, So then I take my stamp that I previously stamped off on, and then I have the freedom to just line this up until I'm happy. So see, if I was off, you'd be able to see it. I hope you can see that on the video. So it just helps to be able to, you know, there's no stress. There's no ink on this. I'm not going to mess it up. So let's just take the stress out of it. Let's line that up, put our majig back, remove the imaging sheet, ink up your stamp again, stamp straight down, lift straight up. Ta-da! Isn't that awesome? I was happy when I figured that out. So like I said, if you have the Stampin' Majig, pull it out. If you don't, you might want to add that to a list down the road. Very handy little tool, okay? All right, so I have already stamped and cut out. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to use the cutout one that I did by hand. So we're just going to put our card together. I've already put dimensionals on the back, and I want to tell you something if you didn't know this. The great thing about the Stampin' Up! Cardstock is that it's two sides. Don't throw away the paper. Flip it over, stamp your image again, because this is just going to lay down. Nobody's going to see that. Nobody's going to know but you that you watched me on the video that I did this. So I want to take my bone folder, and I just want to curl the wings. I want to make her look like she's in flight. Okay. All right, I just noticed something. I haven't stamped my body yet, so let me grab my stamp and let's do that. The body is in your stamp set. There's for the big butterfly. There's for the small butterfly. There's the antennae. Love it. All right, so we're just going to ink this up. Push that back down. And kind of hard for me to see with my head not getting in the video. So we'll see how it does. Well, it would have done better if I'd have used the right color of ink, but that's okay. We'll just go with it for now. You want to switch over to the tip top taupe for the body. It's okay. It worked out fine. All right, so let's go ahead and assemble our pieces. I love to use the multi-purpose glue whenever I am using the embossed pieces. Now, you can decide if you want the bricks up or recessed. I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with them up. All right. So I love the multi-purpose glue. It gets down in those grooves. My card won't fall apart. Biggest pet peeve I have is to have my card fall apart when I give it to somebody. All right, so we're just gonna line that up here. I could have used dimensionals if I wanted to. I decided on this card that I wasn't, because this is gonna be dimensional, and we'll just let this be the dimension. Now, I want to tell you something. Before I remove the backing, you need to stamp the antennae. Okay, so let me get my ink pad. All right, so I'm using the tip top taupe, and I decided that it was easier for me, with the butterfly still flying around, for me to decide which piece I could stamp it on so that it would line up. So I've got it like that. There's my antennae. And then I'm just going to remove my dimensional backings. Whether you have nails or not, dig your fingernail in, that backing will release. You won't have near the pick trying to get it off. So we're going to put our butterfly right there. We want to make sure that the wings are not hanging off the card because we want it to fit into our envelope. Then I'm going to do the same thing with the little one. And I'm going to put it right there. Get the antennae, pull my butterfly back out of the way, and then I want to give this a little bit of a curl too to match the mama. Whoops, there I go again, not putting my body on. So with the body, because this is the one that I cut, I didn't leave very much room, and I did want to point that out to you because I didn't leave much room. Let's see, where's my little body? It may not look as right, but let's try it. Yeah, kind of looks like a bit of a blob. So just be careful when you're cutting. You'll notice on here, there is a bit of a body. Let me just stamp it for you so you see what I'm saying. The framelit cut it out correctly. The human did not. Okay, so there you see it. All right. All right, so let me set that aside. And we'll just put our butterfly on the card. If I kind of line it up with the antennae, you can't tell that I screwed up. Huh, that's nice. Okay, so there you go. So it looks pretty good. All right, so when you, I told you at the beginning of the video series that you will have extra cardstock left on your half sheets that you got in your kit. So that's what you will use to stamp your sentiments. And whoops, wrong stamp. I need this one. Okay, so I am stamping "You Are Too Kind." And for this one, I need a banner on both ends, or a banner tail. Okay, just going to use my snips and cut this out. Okay, trim that down just a little bit. And then I'm going to come in and do my little banner tail. Okay. All right. So now we want some dimensionals on the back of that. And we will put this right here. You are too kind. You are too kind for watching this video. Thanks for stopping by, and come back for the next one.